So today we have such a great episode. I'm going to show you how to make 3 classic Spanish seafood tapas you won't be able to resist. We are talking brochetas de gambas, which are Spanish garlic shrimp skewers, mejillones al vapor, which are Spanish steamed mussels, and for the last recipe, soldaditos de pavia, which is battered cod with roasted peppers, a very popular tapas dish in Madrid, Spain, folks. All 3 of these recipes are so easy to make. They're all packed with Spanish flavors, and each one comes together in just 30 minutes or less. If this is your first time here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon. That way you can get notified when I release new content and to become a part of the Spain on 4 kitchen. To all my returning subscribers, welcome back. For our first seafood tapas dish, we are making brochetas de gambas. These beautiful Spanish garlic shrimp skewers are so easy to make and loaded with so much Spanish goodness. I'm going to begin by grabbing 16 raw jumbo shrimp that have been peeled and deveined over some paper towels. Now I bought these frozen and thawed them out just to make things easier and cheaper. The secret, make sure you pan them completely dry with paper towels to remove any of the excess liquid in the shrimp. That way when you cook them, they are full of flavor. Then I'm going to add in the shrimp into some wooden skewers. And season them with sea salt and black pepper just on one side. For the next step, I'm going to add in 4 cloves of garlic that I roughly chopped into a mortar. Pinch in a little sea salt. And using a pestle, pound down on the garlic until you form a paste-like texture. Then I'm going to add in half a teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is 1.15 grams, and 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is about 30 milliliters. And we'll give this a quick mix, that way all the ingredients are evenly mixed together. Then I'm going to add in our garlic mixture over the shrimp skewers, making sure that that mixture is coating every single shrimp. Then get in there with a brush and start brushing that mixture just to ensure that it's coating each and every single shrimp, and you want to do this on both sides. Alright, let's start cooking up our shrimp skewers. I'm going to grab a grilling pan. If you don't have one of these, no big deal. You can just use a standard fry pan, and I'm going to heat it with a medium to medium high heat. After heating the pan for about 4 minutes and it's nice and hot, I'm going to start adding the shrimp skewers into the pan, making sure they're all in a single layer. After about 90 seconds, I'm going to start flipping the shrimp skewers to cook the other side. Now these are jumbo shrimp, so 90 seconds per side is the ideal time. You don't want to go any longer, otherwise you risk the chance of overcooking those shrimp, which gives them a tough texture and they lose all their beautiful flavor. After about 3 minutes, that's 1.5 minutes per side, these shrimp skewers should be perfectly cooked. Once again, you don't want to overcook them. I'm going to remove the pan from the heat, transfer the shrimp skewers into a serving dish, and sprinkle them with some freshly chopped parsley. And we'll garnish it with a couple lemon wedges. Our first seafood tapas dish is done, brochetas de gambas. You saw this, easy to make, loaded with so much Spanish goodness, and made with very simple ingredients. Try this one at home, you are gonna absolutely love it. For our second seafood tapas dish, we are making mejillones al vapor. This is one of the most classic seafood tapas dishes from Spain, and it is so easy to put together. Let's begin by grabbing 1 pound of fresh mussels, which is about half a kilogram, and start cleaning them up. First you want to remove the beard from the mussel, and then using a steel cloth, start scrubbing the mussel to remove any of the excess dirt and the barnacles. Once all the mussels have been cleaned, let's move on to the next step. I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of cold water into a stock pot, which is 60 milliliters. I'm also going to add in 4 slices of lemon, 4 cloves of garlic with the skins on that I cut a slit on each one, 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped parsley, which is about 8 grams, and lightly seasoned with a little sea salt and some freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give this a quick mix, that way everything's evenly mixed together. Then I'm going to add in our clean mussels into the stock pot. We'll give it a quick mix. and heat it with a medium-high heat. Once that water comes to a light boil, I'm going to place a lid over the stock pot, and we're going to cook this between 4 to 5 minutes or until all those mussels have fully opened up. After 5 minutes, I'm going to remove the lid from the stock pot, and check it out. Look how beautiful this turned out, and all those mussels are fully open. I'm going to remove the stock pot from the heat, transfer the mussels into a serving dish, and sprinkle it with some freshly chopped parsley. And we'll garnish it with a couple lemon wedges. Our second seafood tapas dish is done, mejillones al vapor. Like I told you earlier, this is one of the most classic seafood tapas dishes from Spain. Very easy to make, beautiful presentation. This is where simplicity meets extraordinary. For our third and final seafood tapas dish, we are making soldaditos de pavia. This is a classic tapas dish from Madrid that's very easy to make and has so many amazing flavors to it. Let's begin by making a batter first. I'm going to add in 1 cup of all-purpose flour into a large bowl, which is about 120 grams. Then I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of baking powder, which is 4 grams. And a 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt, which is 1.5 grams. And I'm going to mix these dry ingredients together, that way they're evenly mixed. Then I'm going to move the flour mixture to the sides to create a well. Add in 1 egg and 3/4 cup of beer at room temperature, which is 177 milliliters. Now I'm using a typical Spanish beer from Madrid here, but you can use whatever beer you like. And I'm going to mix this together until we end up with a creamy batter with no lumps in it. For the next step, I'm going to grab a fillet of cod. This is 400 grams, which is about 14 ounces, and pat it completely dry with paper towels. Once again, I bought this frozen and thawed it out just to make things easier and cheaper. And like I told you earlier, this is such an important step. You want to remove all that excess water from the fish. That way when you cook it, it's full of flavor and it gives it the most incredible texture. Then I'm going to cut the fillet of cod into 1-inch pieces, which is about 2.5 centimeters. And season the cod with a little sea salt and black pepper just on one side. Before we start coating our pieces of cod in the batter, let's start heating our oil. I'm going to grab a large fry pan. Important to use a larger pan here, that way you can cook all the pieces of cod in a single layer. I'm going to heat it with a medium heat and add in 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, which is about 125 milliliters. While the oil is heating, I'm going to add in the pieces of cod into the batter. And gently mix them around, that way they're evenly coated in the batter. After heating the olive oil for about 5 minutes on a medium heat, it should be nice and hot, but as you can see, it's not smoking, so it hasn't lost any of its beautiful flavor. I'm going to start adding the pieces of cod into the pan, making sure to shake off any of the excess batter. After about 3 minutes, I'm going to gently flip the pieces of cod to fry the other side. After about 6 minutes, that's 3 minutes per side, these pieces of cod should be perfectly cooked. Once again, you don't want to overcook fish, otherwise it gets a tough texture to it. I'm going to start removing the pieces of cod from the pan and transferring them into a dish with some paper towels. Once all the pieces of cod have been removed from the pan, I'm going to turn off the heat and start plating our dish. I'm going to transfer our pieces of cod into a serving dish. Top them off with some strips of roasted red bell peppers. These are the jarred kind. and we'll sprinkle it with some freshly chopped parsley. Check it out, our third and final seafood tapas dish is done. Son daditos de pavia, a classic tapas dish from Madrid, easy to make, beautiful presentation. This is what Spanish food is all about. You saw it, folks, 3 beautiful Spanish seafood tapas, each one easy to make, and all 3 of them loaded with so much Spanish goodness. Make them at home and take an instant trip to beautiful Spain. Really quick before I go, a shout out to one of my newest patrons, Amy Martinez. Once again, Amy, thank you so much for becoming a patron. It's thanks to you and the rest of my patrons why Spain on Fork continues to move forward. If you're not a patron, consider becoming one. It really helps with ingredients and equipment to continue making videos like this. You'll find my Patreon link in the description box below and iCard above. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, you know what to do, smash that subscribe button. Till the next time, hasta luego.